So once you have gathered everything you need, we will put the hair into 2 sections, working one side at a time. And the hair is thoroughly cleansed, conditioned, and detangled, and ready to apply your product. So we're going to start on this first side of the head, making about 2-inch partings, about 2 finger widths wide or deep. And we're going to make sure this hair is wet the entire time. So the hair is kind of damp right now. We just finished rinsing the conditioner. So we are applying water to this section. And the products we'll be using is Uncle Funky's Curly Magic and the Dew Chief Rocker Mousse. You can see me emulsifying that first product, which is the Uncle Funky's Custard or Curl Stimulator. Applying that to the hair after emulsifying it in my hands for a little while. We're using a Felicia Leatherwood brush to apply that first product evenly through this section. And you can see that brush is helping us to get through the hair nice and easy. And it's also going to help us combat any frizzing, recoiling, or tangling that may be left in the hair. Now we're going right on top of that other product, the Uncle Funky's, with the Dew Chief Rocker Mousse. We will continue up this side of the hair, repeating the same steps, spraying water, applying Uncle Funky's Curl Stimulator, using our Felicia Leatherwood brush to evenly distribute that product through the hair, and to remove any tangles, recoiling, shed hair, anything that may be left in that hair. We want this hair completely detangled and moisturized for this process. We're going to go in with our mousse, and it's just a topper, so you don't need a lot of mousse. You just want to top or smooth some directly over the Uncle Funky's. Now let's talk about the reason we chose this combination. She just received a shaping or a haircut, and so we want the hair to be light and fluffy so the hair can be voluminous enough to see the shape. And we also chose to use this product because we still need to have some hold and some definition in her hair. She still wants her hair to last at least 4 to 7 days. So this product is light, but it's not, I would say it's a medium hold for this texture. You have to keep in mind that another texture, this may be way too much product, it may be way too heavy, and then for another texture it may not be heavy enough. So for what we're going for today, which is defined curls that will have some longevity as well as soft enough to fluff and have some volume on day one. Another option for this same texture is to use only mousse. And so with that, you would have lots of volume You would still have definition, but you would not have the longevity. So her hair may last 2 to 3 days, depending on the weather and her activity. And so if you are going for very big, voluminous hair day one, even on this texture, you could use a mousse. And I would recommend either the Dew Mousse Def or the Dew Chief Rocker for this texture of hair. Now let's talk about her porosity. Her porosity is low to medium, so sometimes products tend to sit on top of her hair. So styling her hair with plenty of water and the right combination of products that are water soluble, that will actually penetrate into her hair instead of sitting on top, is very important. If you start to see product sitting on top of the hair, make sure you wipe your hands off to get off any product buildup that's collecting on your hands, so it will not deposit onto the hair. Now, it is natural to see some product sitting on the hair, but as long as it's not excessive, it will go away during the drying process. So we're continuing up this side of the hair with our water, Uncle Funky's, brushing, then applying the mousse. Now you will notice that you will not see me brushing through the hair with the mousse, because at that point we really want to set in that definition and really smooth that cuticle down with our hands. And our hands are less likely to cause frizzing. So the last thing that should touch her hair would be your fingers. Using a raking and smoothing method to help to find those curls and lay that cuticle down. You will also notice the elongation she is getting from this product combination, which is very important to have the hair nice and elongated while styling, because if the hair is in a shrunken or frizzy state during the styling process, then that's what the hair will look like when it is complete. So you will continue these steps all throughout the hair in a systematic way, so you can have cohesiveness throughout the style. You don't want to have one area that's puffy, frizzy, and then one area that's super defined. So you're going to stay with your technique throughout the entire head, which is about 2-inch partings. Uncle Funky's first, or any type of styler or leave-in first, and then your topper. Also, with this texture of hair, you want to get as close to the root area as possible with all of those products to prevent having really puffy roots and defined ends. Now with other textures that are more fine and have more of a challenge getting volume, you would avoid the root area when applying your products. And notice the rake and smoothing technique that you want to do last before you go on to your next section. As you reach the top of this section, you want to make sure you go ahead and determine where you want your part, whether it's on the side, in the middle, or no part at all. And go ahead and establish that before moving on to the second half of the head. We will be doing a middle part on her, so make sure your part is centered before moving on to the next section. So we talked about her porosity. Let's talk about her texture or type of hair. So her texture is somewhat coarse, not overly coarse, and her curls are tight. She has somewhat of a silk element to her hair, but mostly a wool texture. And so when you have a small amount of silk and more wool, then you have more of a kinky curly texture or tight curly texture. And you also have volume. You really don't have to work for volume that much. So this texture can be very defined, very curly, but also very full, or even an afro type texture. Now we're establishing that middle part to make sure that the entire look is nice and polished and that her style is balanced before moving on to that final section. So you may be wondering, what product combination would I use if I wanted her hair to last for at least 7 days? Very good question. So I would probably still use the Uncle Funky's as a base, and then I would go in with a gel as the topper. The combination we usually use on her hair is Uncle Funky's, Curly Magic Curl Stimulator, and then we normally top it with InnerSense I Create Hold. As you can see, we don't have to do much to define her curls. Her curl pattern is very prominent, and all it takes is the right amount of moisture, the right products, and the right technique. So there's no way to create a specific curl pattern or curl texture or even size of a curl All those things are natural. The curl pattern can be enhanced with finger coiling or even rolling the hair in a spiral manner during the styling process to get more of volume in the hair. But we have done none of that with her. Now we will diffuse her hair for maybe 15 to 20 minutes to create some volume and air in her curls, and then she will go under the dryer for the rest of the time. And we will only hover. We will not do any scrunching into the hair. We won't even touch the hair with the diffuser. This is simply to speed up the drying process and get volume at the same time. And the diffuser is on high air, high heat, and we will not touch the hair nor scrunch the hair. And you can use 2 dryers if you have it to speed up the drying process. Now let's talk about drying options. For all textures of hair, all curl types, I highly recommend drying your hair with heat, whether it is a diffuser or a hooded dryer. And also I recommend to start the drying process as soon as you apply your products, as soon as you are finished applying your product. That is because you need that product cast to set to protect your curls from frizzing and also to give you longevity. If you never set that cast, then the curls are not protected. Now just a tip, if you do not have time to diffuse your hair for 30 minutes or an hour, it is recommended to diffuse your hair at least 10 to 20 minutes until you feel a product cast, and then let the hair air dry if you must the remainder of the way, and refrain from touching the hair until the hair is completely dry. For this texture of hair, I recommend a hooded dryer. Also recommend that you start drying the hair as soon as possible to prevent shrinkage. The longer you stay from under the dryer or you prolong the diffusing process, the more shrinkage will set in. You may be concerned about heat damage from a hot diffuser or a hot hooded dryer. These are diffused or indirect heat. So this will not damage your hair. It's indirect or diffused heat without tension. So no heat damage will be experienced. Now we'll speed up this process and we will show you the finished product. I hope you were educated, motivated, and empowered.